name is Lydia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a sort of showing of my reading journal where I track all the books that I've read throughout the year with a whole bunch of stats as well. So this is the journal. It was just a plain white notebook that I've covered in a whole bunch of stickers, and it is squared on the inside. I find squared is a lot easier to work with. It just gives me a lot more freedom than lined and more structure than plain. The first page in my book journal is the index, so this just lets me know what's on what page so I can easily find it. I then have my 2021 in review page, so this is where I track how many physical, audio and ebooks I've read each month, how many were DNFs, how many were queer, how many were by people of colour, how many were 9 and 10 stars, and my favourite. And I also have a little chart of how many books I've read and the month. So as you can see, January and May, very good months. July, not so good, and August is going to be even worse. Then moves on to my personal challenge pages, because I love to set myself little challenges. It baffles me that I've never thought to do a readathon or a TBR before, considering how much I love to adhere to rules. So the first one I have is the A to Z challenge. Maybe you can see that there. That's quite a common challenge on Bookstagram and BookTube. It's just to try and read a book that starts with every letter of the alphabet. So far I have 23 out of 26, and the only ones I'm missing are U, Z and X. I do have XOXO by Axio to fulfill the X, so it's just U and Z that I don't have a book for at the moment. Next is the 50 States challenge, which again quite self-explanatory. The challenge is just to read a book from each of the 50 states plus DC at the bottom there. I'm doing quite well with this one, although now I just have the really hard states left. I have read 39 out of the 50 states, haven't got to a DC book yet. So yeah, not too shabby. But the 11 that I have got left are Arkansas, Delaware, Indiana, Mississippi, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, West Virginia and Wyoming. So if you know books from any of those states, please let me know. I do plan to read Ramona Blue for Mississippi, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's where it's set. So 10 states I still need to get. Then we have the big one, which is my, what have I called it? Personal goal challenge. This is 100 prompts that I set myself at the start of the year. I don't base it off books I want to read, it's just prompts to help challenge the way I read and make sure I'm reading diversely. I'm doing quite well again with these ones. Out of the 100 prompts, there are only 9 that I haven't done yet. So that's pretty good going. We've still got, what, 4 months left in the year. So I still need to read a book with a fictional language, a book from Wildest Dreams book box, which is one that I was subscribed to, I think, for the last 2 years before 2021. It's not a thing anymore, it's closed down. But I do have quite a few books around the house that I haven't read that are from there. A book from BookBox Club, that's another one, it's still going, but I don't subscribe to it anymore. But I do have plenty from them that I haven't read yet. A book set on a different planet. I think I can use Harry the Ninth for this. I think it's set on a planet, or maybe it's set on a space station. I'm not sure. I used Gideon for a book from Illumicrate, so I'm not quite sure. I have a pseudonymous author, which is quite hard because you don't always know if the author is using a pseudonym unless they've stated it. An author I've met. There aren't a ton of authors that I've met, so that one might be a bit of a challenge. I then also have a place in the title, which that shouldn't be too hard. I'm sure I can find something with a place in the title. An asexual protagonist and a cliffhanger ending. So those are all the prompts from the personal challenge that I set myself that I haven't finished yet. So I need to focus on finding books to fill those prompts. I probably should have consulted this when I was setting up my TBR for September. I didn't. That would have helped. The next section is for DNFs. So those are the books that I've marked as did not finish. I only have 21, which probably sounds quite high, but I've read about 240 books this year, including the DNFs. So I don't think that's bad. That's like less than 10%. That sounds quite high actually. But there's no point carrying on reading a book that you're not enjoying. I spent like a week trying to slog through The Wolf and the Woodsman. I could have read like 5 books in that time that I was just trying to finish a book I wasn't even enjoying. And then most recently I DNF'd The Diviners by Libba Bray. I was listening to the audiobook, and after 9 hours nothing much had happened. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't like any of the characters. Most audiobooks I read in 9 hours, so the fact that this was like halfway and was still 9 hours, no, that's far too long for nothing to happen. Next up we have the queer book section. So this is where I keep track of all the queer books that I read throughout the year. So this is up until sort of halfway through May. February was not a good month for queer reading, but May was fantastic. It's taking up pretty much the whole page. August so far I've read 8 queer books. Will be 9 by the time I finish Harry the Ninth, and if I do manage to finish If This Gets Out, then it'll be 10, which is pretty good I think. I do want to read more queer books, seeing as I love them so much, but yeah, I need to focus on adding more to my TBR. She's been looking for somewhere to snuggle up all day. I was a bit ambitious with how many pages I left for queer books, so I have filled 4 so far. I have another 6, I think, left to fill. That's not going to happen. There's 4 months left. I've done 4 pages in 8 months, so yeah, I'm not going to do another 6 unless every single book I read is queer from now on and I read a lot more, which is not going to happen. So after the queer book section is my Simply the Best section. So this is for all the books I've rated 9 or 10 out of 10 each month. So as you can see, yeah, quite a few in January. There were 15. There were 5 in February, 10 in March, 5 in April, 14 in May, 9 in June, 9 in July, and so far 7 in August. It will be at least 8 because I know already that Harry's going to be a 9 or 10 out of 10. So I've got another 4 blank pages for my Simply the Best. I don't anticipate filling all of those. I might put my, I don't know, my Bookoplathon TBR in there, or my Magical Readathon, just to fill the space, like with the queer book spaces. I don't like having empty spaces, and I have clearly read less 9 and 10 star books than I thought I was going to. After my queer book section, I have the monthly wrap-up section. So each month I dedicate however many pages based on how many books, and it is the title of the book and the author, the rating that I've given it out of 10, and the format I read it in, so either audio, physical or ebook. And then if any of the challenges or states or anything like that are applicable, I'll make note of that as well. So the number of the challenge, the state it's set in, as long as it's not a state that I've already read, if it's a queer book, if it's written by a BIPOC author. I think those are all the categories that I keep track of. So then once I've finished the month, I then do the wrap-up. So this is just like a long version of the wrap-up that I do for that page at the start for the 2021 in review. So here I just keep track of the books I've read, how many are DNFs, how many are physical, audio or ebook, how many are queer, how many of my challenges I've completed, how many states I've read, how many are by BIPOC authors, 9 and 10 star reads, how many were under 6 stars, which is what I count as a bad read, how many are rereads, and how many were graphic novels. And then I keep track of my top 3 books each month. So I will, once I've gone through this, the whole book, I will do a slower look at each page so you can see what I've read, what I've rated, and what are my top 3 each month. Lola is being very naughty right now. She's trying to eat all my raspberries. You naughty kitty. She's very cute, but she gets in the way. Lols. There are a lot of just random stickers in here, just because I had a bunch of stickers and I wanted to use them up and make the pages a bit brighter. Have the quarter room review, which is where I just kept track of all those stats, but for the first 3 months as a total. I don't think I did this any other time. I don't remember doing it after June, and yeah, I must have completely forgotten about that one. I then also had the top books from January to March, so there are 21 books here that I have decided are the top 21 that I read in the first 3 months of the year. And then this is where we're up to now. So I've just finished this one down at the bottom, Amari and the Night Brothers, yesterday I think. So that's as far as I've got with the journal so far. There are still a lot of empty pages, so I do plan to continue this one on for 2022. And hopefully I'll be a bit more organised next time and include TBRs and readathons. I do sometimes get sick of writing out the same book title and author over and over again. If it is part of the A to Z challenge and the 50 states and a personal goal and it's queer and it's a 9 out of 10 and it goes in the monthly wrap up, I can end up writing the same book out 6 times, and if it's a long one, yeah, I do get sick of that. But I quite enjoy handwriting because I don't get many chances to write by hand, never at work, and only sometimes if I'm writing and feel the need to put pen to paper. But yeah, it's a nice excuse to whip out the pens. Okay, so that is the whole of my reading journal. I will now go through it page by page. So that's my reading journal, and that's everything I read and all the stats that I keep track of. If there are any stats that I'm not keeping track of that you think I should, let me know down below. I possibly will start keeping track of page count maybe next year, but it's not always easy if I'm reading a lot of audiobooks and graphic novels and things that don't have a straightforward page count, or ebooks that haven't got them loaded on Goodreads. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It would be quite interesting to know how many pages I'm reading. I think it might be tracked on Storygraph though. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and comment if you did, and subscribe for more.